This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Only the names have been changed to protect a certain person from complete and utter social disgrace. Mike and Janet, or so we'll call them, were an odd match, if I dare say so. Mike was a cop, a very conscientious and confidential type. Janet wrote a column for the society page and couldn't keep a secret if her life depended on it. If you ask me, it was just one of many social graces that eluded her. Mike was working his way up through the ranks to become a detective, first class. Very serious about his job, believe me. Janet was much more of a social butterfly or a shark, depending on who you talk to. Secrets were her life's work and passion. If there was an event worth attending in the city, Janet knew all about it and expected an invitation, with plenty of advance notice to shuffle her busy social schedule. When she got an invitation to the big masquerade ball, she thought it was an absolutely fabulous way to dig up dirt. In disguise. And a great way to get Mike out of uniform and into the swing of things. Janet had to go alone to rent a costume. Mike said he had an urgent case to attend to and suggested they pick out their costumes separately and surprise each other. Janet loved surprises and thought this idea was simply marvelous and romantic. She was always looking for ways to spice up their marriage. But it wasn't long before Janet's curious nature got the best of her. After tearing the house apart, looking for it, Janet guessed that Mike probably hadn't picked up his costume yet. Then the telephone rang. She hoped it was someone with a secret to share, but it turned out to be just a fax. It was a picture of a gruesome Mr. Hyde type, as in Dr. Jekyll, you know. At first, Janet was grossed out, but then it dawned on her. It must be the costume rental shop letting Mike know his costume was ready. Just then, Mike came home, so Janet put the fax back, satisfied that she knew his little secret. But Mike had bad news. He was assigned to a particularly tough case and couldn't make the masquerade ball after all. At the ball, Janet was getting a tad peeved that no one was revealing their identity. After all, how was she going to gossip about them if she couldn't figure out who they were? Then she spotted Mike in his costume. She figured he must have been trying to surprise her all along. He played up the Mr. Hyde routine to the hilt, so Janet decided not to spoil his surprise. Together they were the life of the party, dancing and swaying the night away. Then they slipped out on the patio in the romantic night air. And before long, they were behaving just like teenagers. But they were rudely interrupted by some other couples, and Mike disappeared into the night. Now Janet went after him, but she couldn't find him anywhere. When Janet got home, Mike came in the door soon after her. She was surprised to see him back in his uniform already. Mike didn't have a clue what she was talking about, but was relieved to see that she was safe. He'd been on patrol all night, tracking a homicidal maniac on the loose in the area. Janet got very quiet and very pale. She realized the man at the party wasn't Mike at all. It was the insane killer! You should have seen the look on her face when Mike asked, "Did you have fun at the party?" This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Janet, who for once in her life was able to keep a secret.
And this is